Welcome back to the channel. Uh, I'm Greg. Kathy's not here today. She's working today. And we are this and that outdoors. So, talked last week about the garden and the heat. Um, we decided to put up some shade cloth here over the raised bed, and also we got it here on the main garden. I'm gonna drop in a little bit of video of me working on that. So here you go. Okay, with the temperatures going up into the 90s, recently we decided it's time to go ahead and put up the shade cloth. The shade cloth we use, I'm trying to remember the amount of shade it provides, 50%, maybe 40%. I can't remember the exact number. We use that, and we use this half-inch rebar to put it up with, and I'll kind of show you how I go about that, and let's get to it. With this particular shade cloth, it is 6 by 10. So really what I do, just go ahead and get the rebar shoved into the ground at about a approximate width. You can kind of lean it outward because it's going to end up pulling on the top some. So I try to get it where it leans out a little. Now, sometimes I have to drive the rebar in the ground if the ground's too hard. I did get some rain yesterday, so makes the ground a little bit softer. So makes it a little bit easier to go in. Hopefully all of them go in pretty easily, but oh, that one's kind of hard. Yeah, I might have to drive that one in. I'm gonna probably have to reposition them once I put the rebar, the shade cloth up, just because it's hard to get exact, and so we'll reposition as needed. Grab a ladder. Since the others went in the ground pretty easy, I'm gonna let this hard one be the primary, and I'll work from it, just because I don't want to have to drive it in the ground twice. So get up here and take care of that. Sometimes once you get it past the hard surface, it goes in pretty easily. And yeah, I think I just reached it. Okay, so we got that one. Shade cloth we have conveniently has these little grommets that most of the time I can get them over. Uh-oh. Of course, that one's not gonna cooperate. Goodness. Okay. Let's get some wire ties. All right, using these 11-inch wire ties to kind of get that going. You don't want them super tight because you want to be able to slide up and down a little, but you want it tight enough that it kind of holds it in place once you get some tension on it. So that is kind of the plan. And yeah, as anticipated, I'm going to have to move this post a little. Of course, moving the post, it had to get into a spot where it's a little more difficult. And I got lucky on that one, it was positioned pretty good. Same with this one. Now, once I got it in place, I can slide these up. May end up having to tighten up a little here or there. Yeah. That's a pretty good starting point though. So let's move on to round two. Alrighty, and just that easy, We have put up our shade cloth. Two segments, 6 by 10, and that will work to kind of shade my cucumbers and the tomatoes. So there we go. Alrighty, got this segment over the bigger part of the garden. It's a little bit bigger, 12 by 12. So I had to put a post in the center, kind of keep it from riding down on the plants in here. Hopefully this won't be too much shade. I don't think it will be for the cucumbers. Tomatoes, if it gets on them, might be for the okra, and that I'm not sure of. So we'll have to see. Okay, so hopefully our shade cloth will get us through. As I said, it's I think 50% shade, using half-inch rebar, 10 feet tall. Just get it in the ground best I can. Some of it had to drive in, some I could just push in my hand. For our garden, as small as it is, it covers the bulk of it. For your garden, you might have to do something a little bit different. But I guess everybody's situation is a little bit unique, so you just have to adjust. But big thing is when you get those 95 plus temperatures, cucumbers don't really like it, tomatoes don't really like it. It gets a little bit too hot even for the watermelons, especially if they get too dry. So trying to do what we can to preserve the garden through the hot part of the summer, and it's doing okay. With our tomatoes here by the porch, I have had to attach some extensions to my poles because my tomatoes here in particular, they started getting so heavy they were bending the bush down, and I'd clipped the tops off so they wouldn't grow so tall. But even with clipping them off, there were still some that produced the tomatoes right at the very top, and they started bending down and started breaking. So I had to extend, and I did it on this bush, that one, and that one, and this one. If I have to do it on some more, I guess I will. But right now, it does not appear so. But we've been getting quite a few tomatoes, so that's a good thing. Kathy did take a lot of the leaves off of the cucumbers after I sprayed the hydrogen peroxide on there. We let it sit for a couple of days, few days. Plants, with the leaves removed, the plants are looking a little bit better. Kathy did, we have been getting a lot of cucumbers off of them, so we did throw all those those leaves that we trimmed off of there away. You know, that was that fungus that we can't really get to go away. But again, still producing cucumbers. I think the dry and the heat causes some of them to be a little bit deformed, but all in all, they're not terrible. Okra's producing real good. Even this cucumber, the plant itself looked pretty bad, but it's still producing pretty good cucumbers. Like I said, our okra's still producing. Our yellow watermelon's still coming along. Remember the spot we had showed that had looked like a bird had picked it? It looks like it's kind of healed itself. So hopefully that will mean that the watermelon will continue to ripen, and we will see. We are starting to get a few of the Kajari melons a few more that are getting some size to them. Got that one. Got the biggest one here. We had to actually put it in a bag and tie it to the cattle fence because it was getting so heavy. It was starting to weigh down the vine. We were scared it was going to pop off, so we went ahead and tied it off. The one here that was on the ground, we got it supported off the ground. That way, it doesn't just sit in water when we get rain. So, a couple more interesting things. We have our Kokuzi gourd squash. They're starting to produce. They're starting to produce some pretty decent size little fruit Kajaris, whatever. I'm not Kajaris, Kokuzis. Got one here I think that I'm gonna pick. So let me see if I can find where it is. It's pretty big. Gracious, it is probably over 2 feet long now. Let's see. Let's go ahead and break it off here at the top if I can. Uh-oh, can't break it. Sorry for the bad picture. Gracious, I'm gonna have to get a knife. Alrighty, let's go in here. Get this one. Sorry about the view. Wow. So that, I guess, is 2 feet long, maybe a little longer, 27 inches. Used to gauging fish, not gourds. So that's pretty much what we got. Wow, that's a pretty big Kokuzi. Other than that, we just continue to mess with the garden, keep it going. Getting in these hot summer months, it's just hard to keep up with all that's going on. But I think we're managing to do it. Everything's producing well. We're still getting good cucumbers. So we do appreciate everybody watching, liking, subscribing, and we will continue to try to put stuff out. And we will see you next time. Hopefully Kathy will be with me that time.